A soldier knocked desperately at the door, but the people inside remained indifferent. The soldier looked back, and in the mist, a huge monster had emerged. He muttered a final prayer. Then the creature took him inside, but the people inside laughed at this. The believer told everyone, "We've sacrificed a soul tonight. We'll do the same tomorrow." Followers of the believer had already made up the vast majority. Outside were unknown monsters. Inside were monsters of humanity. There was no escape. David made up his mind. He planned to steal food and leave, but the believer was waiting. She saw herself as the savior. "You can't leave," she said. Her followers surrounded David. "You're sinners," they chanted. "You don't believe in God. You deserve to die." One by one, knives were raised. "We need another sacrifice," she said. The boy, the madman, began to surround David and the others, brandishing their knives and launching attacks. The believer shouted. A gunshot rang out. The old store clerk had shot the believer. She collapsed, lifeless. Her followers froze, shocked. Taking his opportunity, David and the others fled in a hurry, dashing towards the parking lot. In the thick fog, everyone was seized with fear and shouted out each other's names. The clerk opened a car door. A monster appeared, grabbing him instantly. A spider also appeared and pounced on one of them. The giant monster devoured the clerk. It turned and left. The rest raced to the car. The store manager stumbled back to the supermarket. Another person fell to the spiders. Only the elderly people, a child, a young man, and a young woman became the last hope. They drove off, passing the supermarket. There was room in the car, but no one dared to come out. The car crawled along the road. David drove, heading home to find his wife. At their house, he found her body hanging. They kept driving further and further. Everywhere, overturned cars and dead bodies. In the mist, they saw a colossal creature. It was mountain-sized, shaking the car with each step. When the creature finally left, David kept driving until the car ran out of gas. The gamble between life and death was over. The answer was clear listening to the roars outside. Imagining what awaited them, they made a decision. David counted the bullets, only 4, but there were 5 of them. David decided that he would face the most painful ending. After 4 gunshots, only David was left in the car. He let out a loud scream to vent his grief, then pushed open the car door, ready to face the monster and meet his death. After waiting for a long time, the monster didn't show up. David suddenly stared ahead, his eyes gradually filled with horror. Had the monster finally come? No. In the mist, something that made David even more desperate emerged. The rescue army arrived, carrying a full truckload of survivors.